Alright guys, I'm going to try to go through this as fast as possible. So anyway, I'm going to show you guys how to add a lithium battery pack to your PT01 Scratch. Or at least I'm going to try to. I don't know how fast it's going to do. I'm pretty pressed for time. So anyway, this is the lithium battery pack that I order off of eBay. It's actually 6,800 milliamp hours. So first thing we got to do is we actually got to take this little piece, take it off because it's a little too thick to fit in there. So you got to take one end off. So we got to just take these little screws out here, and after you take these screws out, it'll fit perfectly. So like I said, I always decide to do these things at the freaking wrong time, man. But hopefully you guys stay with me on this, because this is going to be a step-by-step. You know, I'm not editing this. I'm not doing any of that. This is just a live. So a lot of you guys, I don't know, you might not want to watch this. You might want to, but if you're interested on switching out your batteries to a lithium rechargeable, then I'll let you know. You know, this is how it's going to be done. This is what you're going to need to do. So anyway, once you get all the screws out of there, this top piece will come out. It's going to be probably double-sided sticky tape, but boom. Once you get that off of there, now this will fit in there, okay? So you don't need this no more. You can put that off to the side. Okay, so now that we got that done, we need to take all of the screws out of the bottom of the PT01 Scratch. So all of these screws, every single one of these screws here, you need to pull them out, okay? When you do that, then you're basically going to, those screws are going to look like this when you're done, okay? So keep in mind, some of this stuff's already taken out because I'm gutting this out so I can actually start doing other mods to it. But I'm going to show you this, okay? So basically, once we do that, we're going to lift this up. There's going to be a couple of wires in here that you're going to have to disconnect. All right, so typically this little board here is hooked up. It's screwed in. You're going to have to take this wire off, and it goes to this white plug here, and this wire off goes to this red plug here, okay? Now if you look inside right here, whoops, you can actually see that this wire is still hooked in. You can actually pull that off as well. So we don't really need this right now. We can kind of put that off to the side, okay? Now, basically what we're going to be doing is, let's see, where's that wire at? Because I just had it. Okay, so typically when you get these lithium battery packs, it's going to come with a wire like this. It's going to be 2 male ends, 1 male end, 1 male end. What you're going to end up doing is you're going to cut one of these ends off, okay? So we're going to have to cut one of these ends off, just like this. It doesn't have to be super, super long. Oh, shoot. Just like that, okay? Then what we're going to end up doing is we need to strip this wire down just a little bit. Okay. Now, sometimes it'll be a yellow and a black wire. Sometimes it'll be a red and a black wire. But typically, usually, red is black. Black is always ground. Yellow, red is always power. You know, so that's your positive and your negative. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna strip these wires down. Here. And here. Okay. We're going to need to put a little bit of solder on these. So I got my soldering iron all ready to go. Like I said, I'm trying to do this as fast as possible, so hopefully you guys can learn something from this anyway. So anyway, we're going to solder these wires. We're going to put a little bit of solder on these wires. We're going to twist the wires, okay? Twist them up. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of solder on each wire. We're going to tin the wire just like that and just like that. Okay. Now that that's tinned like that, what we're really concentrating on is this little piece right here. See, this right here is your voltage regulator, okay? That's where you're going to actually solder onto. So you're going to have your 3 pins here. We need to find out which one is the positive and which one is the negative, okay? The best way to do that is by turning it on. Get yourself a little voltmeter, you know, set it up to DC, turn it on, and then basically what we're going to do is we're going to look for the positive and the negative. Typically, I believe it is the pin, the pin on the inside is the negative, and the pin on the outside is the positive. So if you're looking at this, see how it says negative, and I have the positive on here, so it's negative 12 volts. We need to switch that over. So now we know that this outside pin is your positive pin, and the inside pin is your negative pin, okay? So positive here on the outside, closest to the outside of the board. Middle board is your negative, okay? So what we're gonna do now is we're actually going to add just a little bit of solder directly on to the pins, okay? So, man, I wish I could zoom in a little bit better than this, but unfortunately, I kind of have a shitty little tripod here. Anyway, so we're just gonna add a little bit of solder onto these pins, and I hope to God you guys can see this, okay? So, a little bit of solder here. Just let it touch. Okay, and then a little bit of solder here. Let it touch. All right. So, I'll bring this up to the camera so you can see, maybe you'll be able to see that. But you see how I have solder on this pin and this pin now? Okay? And remember, the outside pin is your positive, the inside pin is your negative, okay? If you want to test the wires to make sure that you're hooking up the wire the correct way, what you can do is you can actually hook it up to a battery, your battery here, turn it on, okay? And then once again, we can use the voltmeter, and the voltmeter will tell us, you know, which side is positive, which side is negative. So we're gonna hook this black to black, red to yellow, and we should get a positive reading there. So there you go. Yep. See how it's positive there? You're set. Okay? That battery needs to be charged. But anyway, so the yellow is your positive, the black is your negative. Okay? So now, what we're gonna do is we're actually going to solder these wires directly to the power regulator, the voltage regulator. Okay, we're gonna solder directly there. All right, so let's see here. I know. Okay, you know, let me see if I can get this closer. I don't know if this is gonna be any better, guys. Sorry, I should have checked these angles before I started doing this. Let me see. But I told you this is all raw. How's that? Is that better? Let's see, maybe. Oh, maybe I could just use it without this. No, that's not gonna. Well, maybe. Ah. Sorry, y'all. All right. Is that? No, that's not any better. Sorry, guys. Told you this is gonna be non-edited, raw. Okay. Let's see here. So, can you kind of see that a little better, I guess? I mean, I guess it's not the best angle, but sorry, it's just gonna have to do. All right. There we go. I guess that's a little better, huh? Okay. So anyway, remember, once again, your inside pin here is your negative. Your outside pin is your positive, okay? So we're going to solder that on. This is actually pretty tricky sometimes. So anyway, because you want to get this as straight as possible, and you don't want these pins. How's that look? Not even better? Okay, inside negative, outside positive. So let's see here. We're gonna try to get these pins, get this wire soldered onto this pin here without it moving. So there's one. Okay, it's on there. This is why I say this is kind of odd. And here's two. Okay, and we need to make sure that these two pins, when we solder them, that the solder doesn't touch the other pin, or else it's going to ground out and it's going to short out, and then you're going to blow out this power or this voltage regulator. Okay, so anyway, there we go. So these two wires are now soldered directly to that voltage regulator. Okay, I'm just trying to get this extra little nub off here. There we go. All right, so that's basically how you do that, okay, to get that lithium pack in. Now, what you're gonna need to do from there is you're basically going to have to cut a hole through this little wall here. So you either use a drill bit or some, you know, damn it, I should have got a drill. Let me see. Okay, where are my drill bits? Where are my drill bits? All right. So what we need to do is we need to find a drill bit that's big enough to get this through, you know, because it has to go through this sidewall to pull this wire through so that you can actually hook it up to the battery, because this is where the battery is going to go. Okay, so let's okay. This might not be the prettiest, but goddamn it, it'll work. Okay, so we're just gonna take this drill bit and we're just gonna drill through this side wall here. Hopefully. Okay, just like that. Now, is that big enough? Nope, I'm gonna have to go bigger. So this is a 3/8 bit. interesting. Okay. There we go. I bet you that's big enough now. Okay. So now, son of a gun. Guess not. Let's see if we can widen this hole a little bit. Yeah, success. Okay. Now, with this extra wire here, basically what I usually do, I'm gonna pull that off. I guess I can show you that too. I just gotta really pay attention to the clock here. Take this screw out. Take this screw out. Take this screw out. There's 4 screws here. I'll show you why. You don't really have to take them all the way out. You just want to loosen them, okay? So that you can actually, well, I guess you're going to have to take them out completely. But the reason why I'm doing this is just so I can tuck this wire. Okay. So anyway, and that wire. This wire is the ground wire. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna take this wire and we're gonna kind of tuck it around that little peg on the inside that that screw anchors to. See, so now that wire, you don't have to worry about pulling on that wire and it, you know, pulling on the voltage regulator and breaking that, you know, breaking that voltage regulator if you accidentally pull on it. So anyway, we can put these screws back in, okay? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, whoa. Where are you going? So now you can see how this wire is kind of wrapped. So it's kind of solid in there now. It's underneath that board. You're okay. Okay. All right. So now that we have that like that, I'm going to show you. See, so this is where that lithium battery pack is going to go. Okay. And then if you look at this here, of course, that's where the door is. Okay. All right. So that lithium battery pack is going to go right there. When you need to plug it in for power, you're just going to plug it in directly like this. Okay, like that. And then turn it on. Boom. And then you'll have power going directly to the turntable itself. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to figure out, you know, because we can't have this battery just moving back and forth like that. That doesn't work, okay? You want to be able to have it in there and have it nice and sturdy where it doesn't move. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to this is how I do it. So what I do is I actually take a little bit of foam, okay? And I put the foam right here. And then what I do is I actually hot glue the foam down. and then I take the battery and I hot glue the battery down to the phone. To the phone. I'm looking at my phone. To the foam. All right? And once you do that, that battery's not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay right there. And, you know, it'll be perfectly fine. You don't have to worry about it moving. You don't have to worry about it falling. You don't have to worry about none of that. You can actually do that. If you wanted to, I mean, you could, in all honesty, you could take this completely out all the way if you wanted to. Pull the actual battery out of the plastic and then just leave it all there. But I like that it's like this because it keeps, you know, the connection and everything where it needs to be. Okay. Also, with these lithium batteries, you're going to get this plug. Okay. So this plug is the plug that actually charges the battery pack, okay? When you plug it in, you're going to see a red and a green light. Now, this is kind of tricky, but you have to charge this battery, you have to have it turned on, okay? You have to have it turned on. If it isn't turned on, then the battery's not going to charge. You're only going to see one light. You'll see a red light. When it's charging, you're going to see a red and a green light. When it's fully charged, the green light will turn off and then it'll just be red, okay? So keep that in mind when you get that. These lithium packs, I get them off of eBay. They're about 18, 20 bucks, okay? And they work really well. This one, like I said, is 6,800 milliamp hours. So, I mean, this thing will go for days and days and days before you have to charge it again. And yeah, I mean, that's basically it, guys. Let me see what time it is. Okay. Almost 6:30. Okay. Let's see. Another thing, if you want to plug this in to the wall and use it off of a wall outlet, you know, with the original plug that comes with the PT01 Scratch, make sure that you don't have this plugged in, okay, to the battery, because it, you know, you just don't want to do that. It's not good for the battery. It's not good for anything. So once again, like I said, you're just going to take a heat gun or a hot glue gun, and then you're going to glue this down just like this. We'll let this hot glue gun warm up. Go from there. Doesn't have to be a crazy one. The glue sticks that I'm using, though, it's Gorilla Glue. Okay, this stuff works really, really well. So that's the glue sticks I'm using, okay? Gorilla Glue, hot sticks. It works really, really well. Okay. So once again, there we go. Okay, you're gonna take your wire, solder your positive to the outside pin, negative to the inside pin of the voltage regulator. Wrap your wire directly around. You know, take the screws out of this, wrap your wire around. You're going to drill out the hole here so that you can actually fish this wire through. Okay, bam. And then it's just going to go right into that. Bam. Just like that, okay? And that's pretty much it. Once that's connected, you're on lithium power. You don't have to worry about D batteries or anything like that. The other cool thing about that is you don't have to worry about any of this internal jargon in here, as far as like all these springs and all of this stuff inside the PT01 Scratch. You don't have to worry about taking any of that stuff out. I do, specifically just because it doesn't need to be in there. But you can leave it in there if you want, but you're not going to need it. Okay. Let me see. All right. Whoa, 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 losing back. Damn it. Hope you guys can still hear me. Okay, hopefully you can still hear me. All right, so this is the actual top part of the PT01 scratch. Okay, so you have your springs here. Okay, all of this you can take out. You don't need it. It's, you know, it's all pointless to have now. So you can actually take these wires, you can snip them, snip it. Okay, those wires you don't need anymore. But you can keep these on there, these pins, you can keep those. I know nobody's watching me right now, and I understand it because this is, you know, kind of long, but that's okay. I just want you guys to see what I'm doing here, okay? Well, this is interesting. On my other PT01 scratch, there's actually a wire running from here to here on this. But this one is just soldered directly to this little tin foil here. That's interesting. Anyway, that's basically it with that. So we can put this to the side. Okay. Now, okay, yeah, this is hot enough now, okay? So we're just gonna put some hot glue here. You know, it doesn't have to be pretty. Looks like I need another stick. Now, this, like I said, this for me was the easiest way for me to keep that lithium battery pack in, you know, from falling down. You know, you don't want, like I said, you don't want it loose in there. Okay. So now that you have your hot glue, all you got to do is just push this down on top like so. Cool thing about hot glue is if it gets on your hands, it'll just come right out, right off. Okay, so as you can see, now the hot glue is holding the foam in place. Okay, now all we got to do is add hot glue to the bottom of the case here, and then we're just going to put it right there, right at the top. Okay, so let's put some hot glue on here, huh? Run it along both sides. Just like that. Okay, now we're just gonna line this up, push it down, that's that. Okay, now if you want, you can add a little bit more glue kind of here to the back. Just like that. Now, it's as simple as that. Okay, look at that. The battery is in. Perfect, right? No problems. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the lithium battery install. Hopefully this helps you guys out with your mods. I strongly recommend that you guys do this modification because, you know, it's so much better than having a bunch of D batteries in there. It's not heavy. It's gonna last a hell of a lot longer, and it's definitely, like I said, it's a lot more rechargeable. That's basically all there is to it. Didn't take me very long, you know. So when you're putting this back together, okay, this wire is gonna basically just hook directly back into that little white plug there. Then you're gonna hook these wires directly back in to that little circuit board there, and then that's it. But you know what? Let's do this. Let's give it a try here. Okay. Oh, we gotta hook this wire back up too, because that's the wire that's gonna send power to the USB and your line in and all that stuff, you know. But anyway, so let's just tuck all that back in real quick. Okay. Make sure that this is still turned on. There's your lithium battery. See? Right there. We're going to plug it in. Plugged in. Turn it on. Boom. There's your power. Okay. Now, when you take this off, platter spinning. Okay, so hopefully that helps you guys out. If you're just joining me, I'm gonna post this. That's how you guys do the lithium battery modification. I figure I'd do it on here on Facebook Live for you. It didn't take me very long, but hopefully that helps you guys out. And peep the video. I'm not too sure how long it was, but it didn't take me very long to do it, and it's really easy to do, guys. So anyway, it's well worth it. I'm going to end it there. Peace.